Management and Planning Tools. This is Chapter 12. In this chapter, we're going to review other tools that are very effective for team and sometimes for individuals. We have reviewed different quality tools in this semester, especially the SPC tools, but sometimes there are not the right ones to use in a specific case. So this chapter will review other tools that you can use. Some of these tools are the YY analysis, the forced field analysis, the nominal group technique, affinity diagram, interrelationship diagram, the tree diagram, matrix diagram, prioritization matrices, process decision program chart, and the activity network diagram. So let's start with the YY analysis. And this is a very simple tool and it's very effective. And the purpose of this tool is to find the root cause of the problem. And the way that we do it is we focus on the process rather on the people. Now, if you see, is a figure that on the very far left, it has the general problem. This is what the situation, the issue that we have, or the opportunity for improvement. Now, asking yourself why 3 or more times will let you to go to the very far right, which is to find out the most specific cause. For example, too long to connect calls during lunch hour. Well, why do we have that? Well, because backups don't know a job well. Why they don't know the job well? Because we have high turnovers. Why do we have turnovers? Oh, because the newest employees are the ones that get this type of job. Well, why do they get this type of job? Because they perceive this job as simple, or because no one likes this job, so they give it to the new ones. You can see that they can be breaking into 2 different branches at that point. Then you will keep asking yourself why. So why they perceive this job as a simple? And then you ask yourself, well, because management doesn't know the job. And that's the way that you can identify the root cause. Another tool that is part of this chapter is the forced field analysis. And this is a tool that is used to identify the forces and factors that may influence the problem or goal. This tool helps an organization to better understand how to promote or drive and how to restrain or inhibit a force or forces so that the positive can be reinforced and the negative reduced or eliminated. So what steps do we use to build it? With the procedures first to define the objective, then you determine the criteria for evaluating the effectiveness of the improvement action. Then you have to brainstorm the forces that promote and inhibit achieving the goal. Then you prioritize the forces from greatest to least, and then you take actions to strengthen the promoting forces and weaken the inhibiting forces. So for example, if your main objective is to stop smoking, then you determine the criteria first to evaluate it. Then you identify those forces using brainstorming. For example, promoting forces will be poor health, smelling clothing, poor example, cost and impact on others, and then you have the inhibiting forces, which is the habit, is an addiction, the taste, stress, that's why you smoke, and the advertisement. So once you have this, and it's easy to identify those that are the ones that you will take actions to strengthen them or to weaken those inhibiting forces. Now, the benefits are the determination of the positive and negative of a situation, and it will also encourage people to agree and prioritize the competing forces and identify the root causes. Another tool to review in this chapter is the nominal group technique. And this is a tool that provides for issue or for an idea, input for everyone on the team and for effective decisions. The steps to follow are: everyone writes on a piece of paper the situation they think is the most important. Then these papers are collected and all situations are listed on a flip chart or on a board. It has to be visible to everyone. Then on another piece of paper, everyone will rank the situations. And the way that you do is you give a numerical value. For instance, 1 or 2. You can use as many number of situations. Then all the points for each problems are total, and the item with the highest number of points is considered to be the most important. The Affinity Diagram is another tool to review in this chapter. And this tool allows the team to generate a large number of issues or ideas and then logically group them for problem understanding and possible breakthrough solutions. The steps that you will follow will be: you state the issue in a full sentence, then you brainstorm using short sentences, then you post them for each team to see, you sort ideas into logical groups, and create concise descriptive headings for each group. So then large groups should be divided into smaller groups, and they each of them will have headings, and the notes that will stand alone could become headers or be placed in a miscellaneous category. Some of the advantages of the Affinity Diagram is that will encourage team creativity, break down barriers, facilitate breakthroughs, and stimulate ownership of the process. And one example is the one for this specific company, Microtech, in which you have that are for different areas. So you have smaller groups, and each group has a heading, and under each heading you will have those different ideas or issues. For example, for customer value, some of the ideas or issue will be low price, low product, maintenance, and high quality. For work environment, you have motivated employees, teamwork, personal employee growth, and satisfied employees. For technology, you have constant innovation. And for return on investment, you have high return on investment, low production cost, and growth in shareholder value. Another tool to review in this chapter is the Interrelationship Diagram. And this tool clarifies the interrelationship of many factors of a complex situation. It allows the team to classify the cause and effect relationships among all the factors so that the key drivers and outcome can be used to solve the problem. The procedure is somewhat more complicated than the previous tools, but it will become easier once you start using it. So the step number one is that the team should agree on the issue or problem statement. And then all the ideas or issue from other techniques or from brainstorming should be laid out. Then you start with the first issue. So the second iteration is to compare other issues. Then the entire diagram should be reviewed and revised where necessary. And this is a good idea to obtain information from other people on upstream or downstream processes. And then the diagram is completed by telling the incoming and outgoing arrows and placing this information below. So this tool allows a team to identify root causes from subjective data, also helps to systematically explore cause and effect relationship, encourage members to think multidirectionally, and develops team harmony and effectiveness. This is an example. This is the interrelationship diagram of Microtech strategy factors. And those are the factors, and that's how they are related. So for instance, customers has a direct relationship with the return on investment. Product innovation, work environment, and customer service also are related to the customer. Our next tool is a tree diagram, and this tool is used to reduce any general objective to increasing level of detail in order to achieve the objective. Also, this tool helps team members to think, helps them to make larger projects manageable, and also helps to generate a problem-solving atmosphere. The steps to follow are: you first need to choose an action-oriented objective statement from any other tools such as the Interrelationship Diagram or the Affinity Diagram or brainstorming team mission statement. Then you have to use brainstorming to choose the major headings. Once you have the major headings, then you need to generate the next level by analyzing the major headings. So you will ask yourself what needs to be addressed to achieve the objective, and you will repeat this question at each level to better understand the objective. 3 levels below the objective are usually sufficient to complete the diagram and makes it a correct assignment. And here's an example. We have 2 major objectives, which is customer service and work environment. But if you see it that way, they're very general. So how do you achieve customer service? How do you achieve a work environment? What does that mean? So when you ask yourself, what are the major headings for those general objectives is when you start working towards the goals. Improve order entry process, reduce delivery time, improve technical support. Those look more clear, more specific. But then you have to ask yourself, what needs to be addressed to achieve the objective? And then is when you have the strategies. So for improved technical support, well, we need to install new computer, train customer, empower customer service representative. So those are very specific, and it's easier for the team members to achieve the objective. The diagram should be reviewed to determine if these actions will give the results anticipated or if something has been missed. The next tool to review is the matrix diagram, and this tool allows individuals or teams to identify, analyze, and rate the relationship among two or more variables. So what you do is you present the data in table form, and this type of data can be objective or subjective. And then you use symbols, or you can use numerical values to indicate or to define the type of relationship. Now, there are at least 5 standard formats for this type of diagram. If you have 2 variables, you can use the L-shaped, and this is the one that we're going to be using in this chapter. If you have 3 variables, you can either use the T-shaped, the Y-shaped, or the C-shaped. And if you have 4 variables, you can use the X-shape. The steps to build it is you have to select the factors affecting a successful plan. Then you select the correct format, and this will depend on the number of variables, and then you determine the relationship symbols. To show you an example, this is the same company, Microtech, and these are Microtech's goals and strategies. The goals are cost-effective, high-quality, and shareholder values, and the actions are improve work environment, improve manufacturing technology, and develop new products. Then the center, the matrix, is the one that indicates the type of relationship. You can have a strong relationship, medium relationship, and weak relationship. So this type of tool clearly shows the relationship of the 2 variables. It also encourages the team to think in terms of relationships, their strengths, and any pattern. The next tool to review are the prioritization matrices. And these tools prioritize issues, tasks, and characteristics based on weighted criteria using a combination of a tree and matrix diagram techniques. So once you obtain the prioritization, effective decisions can be made. These tools also are designed to reduce the team's options rationally before detailed implementation planning occurred. The steps to build it are: you first need to construct an L-shaped matrix combining the options, which are the lowest level of detail of the tree diagram, with the criteria. Then you determine the implementation criteria using the nominal group technique or any other technique that will satisfactorily weight the criteria. Then you prioritize the criteria using the nominal group technique, and each team member weights the criteria so the total weight equals to 1, and the results are totaled for the entire team. Then you have to rank order the options in terms of importance by each criterion, average the results, and round to the nearest whole number. Then you compute the option importance score under each criterion by multiplying the rank by the criteria weighted. This is an example. This is the metrics data analysis of customers' requirements for Microtech. You have the requirements, you have the price, reliability, the delivery, technical support. Then you have the importance weight, which is made by team, the best competitor evaluation, the Microtech evaluation, and the difference. So these type of tool give you information on specific priority, and this priority will give you the option to make an effective decision. The next tool to review is the process decision program chart. And they're programs to achieve particular objective, but they don't always go according to plan. And we can have unexpected developments, and they might have serious consequences. So the process decision program chart avoids surprises and identifies possible countermeasures. The steps to build it is the team will state the objective, then the activity is followed by the first level, and in some cases, a second level of detailed activities may be used. The team brainstorms to determine what could go wrong, And these are shown as the what-if level. Then the countermeasures are brainstormed and placed in a balloon in the last level. And the last step is to evaluate the countermeasures and select the optimal ones by placing an O underneath and place an X under those that are rejected. This is an example. We have the main objective is to install a new computer system. You have one level and these are called actions, and for that you need to analyze the needs, configure system, install hardware, train users. Then you have a second level, which is the steps. And for install hardware, you need to schedule training sections, develop training manual. Then you will ask yourself what things can go wrong, and this is the what if level. For instance, in the scheduled training section, you can have shorter staff. In the develop training manuals, you could have no enough time. And then you develop the possible countermeasures, and you will have an O underneath for optimal ones and an X underneath for those that are rejected. Our last tool to review in this chapter is the Activity Network Diagram. And this is a tool that goes by a number of different names and deviations, such as Program Evaluation and Review Technique, PERT, Critical Path Method, the CPM, the Activity on Node, AON, etc. And this is a tool that allows the team to schedule a project efficiently. The diagram shows completion times, simultaneous tasks, and critical activity path. The way that we built it is that the team brainstorms or documents all the tasks to complete a project. Then these tasks are recorded so all members can see them. Then the first task is located and placed on the extreme left of a large view work surface. Any tasks that can be done simultaneously are placed below. Then you have to repeat steps 2 and 3 until all tasks are placed in the correct sequence. Then number each task and draw connecting arrows. Then you determine the task completion time and post it in the lower left box. These completion times are recorded in hours, days, or weeks. Then you determine the critical path by completing the 4 remaining boxes in each task. So you have to complete the earliest start time, the earliest finish, the latest start, and the latest finish. And then you're going to use some math to calculate the critical path. The benefits of an activity network diagram are, first, is a realistic timeable determined by the user. Team members understand their roles in the overall plan. Bottlenecks can be discovered and corrective action taken. And the members focus on the critical task. So this is a really cool tool to work, and the task times must be correct so we can have the more accurate result. So this is an example, and this is a activity network diagram for project planning, and this is for install the new computer system. So all the different tasks are the needs analysis, then you have to training preparation and configure system, you request for bids, you purchase equipment, schedule training, install system, and train users. Once you place those different arrows, you see that now those activities has numbers, and the arrows follow the path that they should go. Then you can add the time, and the time could be the activity time, the earliest start, the latest start, the earliest finished, and the latest finished. In that way, you can obtain the critical path. Chapter 12, Management and Planning Tools, shows different tools that are best used by teams or sometimes by individuals. The first 3 tools that we review in this chapter can be used in a wide variety of situations, and they're simple to use, once again, by individuals or by teams. The last 7 tools in this chapter is what we call the 7 management and planning tools. And although these tools can be used individually, they are more effective when used as a system to implement and improve a plan.